The truth is that there is an alternative through which central banks can coordinate well bank credit. This is known in East Asia as window guidance. And that's when the central bank is actually asked to perform and to deliver high growth without inflation and without crises. Then they can use window guidance, which is actually this combination of a bit of central control, but then decentralization. So the money creation takes place still by banks, but the banks are told how much money to create. They can also be told which sectors. So the central bank could easily say no lending for asset purchases, no lending for consumption, only for productive business investment. But the central banks have not been doing that because they love these asset bubbles and banking crises that give them more power. You know, we're in an era of regulatory moral hazard where the central bankers get more power each time they create another banking crisis. So they love it. And that's why we get more of them. If we held them to account and told them, no, your job is to deliver low inflation, high and sustainable economic growth without crises, and if you don't do that, you all lose your jobs. So you'd see how quickly we'd get that high and stable growth because it's possible and they can use window guidance. But now they've turned this thing around because they love, of course, CBDCs because it gives them even more power and more centralized control, and it would get rid of banks, and therefore it's a totalitarian world, a dystopian world where the central banker decides everything. So that's not the principle of delegation. That's not the principle of subsidiarity, and that is the Soviet principle, which doesn't really work well. So they love that, but how to sell it to the public? They say, oh, we have this problem that the banks are just lending for the wrong things. Well, why have they done that? Because the central planners have not given them the right incentive structure.